title of today's video is it's in the details. And the details that I speak of are these things like, I don't even know what it is. It's a turbocharger intake or exhaust, or I'm not sure. And then a vent door. And then here's some other oil cooling doors that I'm putting on. And basically, how I get these to fit. Obviously, it's straight on the bottom here. Flat on the bottom. And it won't fit on here. Here's one that's finished. It's been concaved so that it lays down flat. All I do is I take a piece of sandpaper and lay it on the fuselage, and we're just going to rub it back and forth until it sands the same concave as the fuselage. And this is a tinkering. It's, you know, it can take 10 minutes. It can take 20 minutes. It could take a day. Who knows? It all depends on how good you want it to fit. And how I made these, I made both these oil cooler doors at the same time. Now there's another one that goes behind it. There's two. And we're going to have to, at the very least, put some Z-epoxy on these. It's a perfect fit. Now it's not the same as the other one, so we have to more or less sand it down a little bit. So I'm going to put it on the belt sander here. And we'll see if they're the same now. And they're pretty close. Actually, I could sand the other one a little bit more. So, these particular, this one here, oh, got it on wrong. There we go. You'll notice there's a hole here. That's for my arming plug. So what I'm going to do, and it's right in the way of where this part goes, which will be fine. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to tack it on, just with a drop of CA. And the other one went, where did it go? It just disappeared off the bench here. Oh, there it is. I'm just using this stick here as a guide, and that's correct there. And I'm using the line here as a reference to keep it straight, and then we'll just put a tack on it. Want to make sure that it's on straight. This kind of thing Kind of drives me fruity. One tack. Be making the landing gear today, so we can get it on its wheels. So that looks pretty good. These are things that they're not 100% necessary, but my original Thunderbolt had them, so I just got a phone call today about my Thunderbolts asking me if it was my design. It is not my design. It's Bill Werwage's design. So now we need to make 2 more to go behind here. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut this hole for this plug. And we're going to Z-epoxy around that real good, because that's going to be an area that's going to take some abuse as well. Straight. Okay, so now we need 2 small ones, and I'm going to take a block of wood, just a block, and we're going to cut that in half. So I've cut out 2 small, relatively small blocks of wood. And they're approximately the same size, and we'll go ahead and make that detail there. So I take them both together on the so that they match. Put them both together, and then we're going to disc sand them. Yeah, I'll try to cut that out. So here's our second set here. Put our sandpaper over the top of that. Because these are smaller, it takes less work. But there's really no detail too small to overlook when you're building a model like this. And we'll put a tack on it. The other side. I sure hope you guys have enjoyed the videos that I've put up. The finishing video for this project is going to be pretty extensive, because I am going to run the camera. We might even live stream some of it. Run the camera throughout the whole finishing process. It'll be boring. Some people say, well, you gotta edit this or edit that. I don't think so. If I edit out all the time, you really can't get a grip of how much work has gone into this. That's better. We're going to have to cut that one down a little bit. I'm not sure what these vents are for on the real airplane. I would imagine some type of oil cooler. I know that back there is turbocharger, exhaust, or what have you. That looks pretty good. Drop the CA. So now we have the vents. I've done these 4 vents. I'm going to need to make the doors for the tail wheel. Well, when I first did my first airplanes, I didn't have any plans, because there was none. So I just kind of made up the doors as I saw fit. And I think what I'll do here is I'm going to cut out that spot to see how that's going to look, if that's going to be feasible. As I stated in the first part of this, getting this holder right here for that was an extreme chore. So I need to drill some holes in this to get that opened up. These Jim Lee hand drills are just fantastic. I love them. So now I'm hoping that I'm still going to be able to use this hidden part. So in order to see if I can use this, I have to put this plug in. I haven't got the set screw in this because I don't have it soldered or wired or what have you. I just have it pushed in there. So well, that hides that pretty good. Yeah, you'll be able to get it out. Hopefully, I might protect this door here with 64th plywood because we're going to be pulling the plug in and out there. And I don't want any fingernail marks. Not that I would, but one of the helpers. Matter of fact, I know that's what we're going to do for sure. '64th plywood there. So that worked out real well. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue them down permanently. Harden the edge up with a little CA. It's in the details. It's not a big rush to get that 64th piece of plywood on this yet. So after I get these glued, I'm just going to move on to the tail wheel doors. But what I'd like to get at when building these models, not only does it have to be light, it has to be well engineered, well thought out, and it also has to be for longevity, because you know you're going to, at least I do, I get about 10 years out of each model. So we don't want it to be a rag in 10 years. When I sold my Continental XL, it was 07, it was 11 years old, and it was not in bad shape. I mean, for 11 years old, it was a pretty nice model. So anyway, let's see what it looks like. And we still can function the plug. So trust me, figuring out how to get that plug in there was very difficult. I have the motor in it now, and all the electrics. It's just I haven't quite finished wiring it. There's 3 wires to solder, and we'd be ready to fly. And I might fly this before I finish it. I'm not quite sure the sequence of events, but what I want to do is I want to go ahead and pull this off the bench, and I need to get the plans out. We'll cut a couple of landing gear or tail wheel doors and get them on, and then we'll go on to bending landing gear wire. I don't have any of the Tom Morris pattern making plastic. It's available through Tom. I just don't have any, and I probably should order some more. It seems like because I build so much, I go through this stuff so fast. I don't have the money. I don't have the money to afford all this shit. Because these are not normally customer jobs that I'm doing. I mean, I do have some customer work. But like on this Thunderbolt, it's mine, so. I'm not sure. I mean, I would sell the Thunderbolt, but I'm not sure that I would set out and build one for somebody. Chris Rudd is offering a Thunderbolt kit with Billy, and if Billy's involved, you can best bet it's going to be nice. So here's my Thunderbolt from before. I missed that airplane. Hopefully the new one will be just as nice. So, there we go. Just a piece of scrap wood out of the pile. Yeah, that was simple enough. Okay. See, making these pieces does not take very long. Making them right takes a little longer, but I get a kick out of it. I don't have the time. Well, neither do I, but we're not going to give up the throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. We will be doing our Al Ray door. I'm gonna do the detail just as much as I did on the last one, and that's why I think that a full video without the editing is appropriate. Let's see how that matches. Oops. Okay. Now these doors are supposed to meet together in this configuration. And if you look at the bottom here, the doors are not straight, so we're going to just put them together on the edge of the bench. And we'll true them up. Now this is something that would never be noticed by somebody unless they were looking for it. Now they're straight. But see, these are the things that I look for. And so when you're building something and you ask me what I think, I'm just not looking at the shine. The shine is nice, but I sure wish I'd have been the appearance judge at the Nats when Ron Burns brought his F4F, or I think that's what it was, because he'd have got a 20. Okay, so there we go on that. Now we need to place them. And if I remember right, I made a jig. But I think I'll make a jig with this fuselage right here. Because here again, nobody's going to notice except me, are the doors on straight. So you wonder, what the heck is he doing? Well, I'm getting the angle. for these doors. And I think the only reason why I'm really doing this is I was happy with this airplane. It was a front row airplane, national front row airplane. And the funny thing about being a national front row airplane is, was on the front row 3 years in a row after it had been there a year, and I didn't do anything to it. I did not freshen it up or anything. So it really should have been it should have done even better than it did the first year it was there. But not to worry. Let's see, is that right? I don't know. Well, we'll look at it and see. Okay, so this goes to the back. These go to the back. Tack it. And of course, the CA bottle is plugged up. There we go. Where did my gauge go? Oh well, I made a gauge. Here we go. No good. I remember now, I had a heck of a time with these the last time. So we'll put a tack on it there and see what it looks like. Not bad. Now these take abuse as well. So we can either harden them up with CA or Z-epoxy. Well, that looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and finish gluing them on there. It was a little bit difficult. The nice thing about these things is, like I've told you, there are no mistakes. If you don't like them, you just cut them off and redo them. But over the years, I've become pretty proficient at seeing things. And all I'm doing here is I'm taking the sharp edge off of this door. And that's more for finish than it is aesthetics, because if you don't round the edges off, what happens is the dope will crack there and peel off. Well, that looks pretty good. Okay. So now we need to make landing gear and landing gear doors. And that'll be like 30 minutes for today, or maybe an hour, whatever, how long it's taken to do those doors and these doors and the landing gear, and that'll be all I have for today, and I'll go back to work on the other projects. These little details don't add a whole lot of weight, but they sure add a lot of character. Oh yeah, we're back in business. This is a good thing. Now if I can just get the finish on it as nice as the other one, we're in great shape. The craftsmanship's about the same quality. Let me tell you what I'm doing here. I stood back and I looked, and you can't really see it in the video, but like right along here there's a shiny spot. What that shiny spot is a low. It's low there, so we're sanding the rest down until that shiny spot goes away. And yeah, we don't have to, but if you don't, what happens is when you start finishing this airplane, you're going to have to prime it and sand it and prime it and sand it until it gets that plastic look. And it's just as easy, plus it's lighter, to go ahead and sand it out here. I also see a couple of spots here that need to be touched up, and that'll become more prevalent as we go. But this plug area here doesn't look bad, I don't think. kind of happy with that. Turned out rather well, and we got the start button in the exhaust hole on the inboard side, and of course the exhaust hole over here is just open hole